this is Anna from JestPaint.com, and I'm here with Deanna to torture her a little bit. Now, we're going to do a really interesting design because it's a mashup, and it's going to be for Halloween, but you could use it all year round. I know sugar skulls are popular, but we're going to twist it and add a little cat to it so that it's going to be a catter skull or something like that. I'm going to be using all global products today, and the two colors that I'm going to use are their pearl lime green and their pearl gold, which are both super mega shimmery, and they're going to kind of be elegant for this kitty. And then I'm going to use global white for her muzzle. So just to start, we'll tap on a little muzzle. You don't want to make it too huge because I'm going to try to make a skull shape for this cat face. See, that looks very muzzly. If you go too big, you can always do a little cleanup so that it's the size you want. Alright, next I'm going to double load. First I'm going to put some lime, pearl lime. And then with global metallics, you don't want to have your sponge too wet so that it goes on smooth, but you don't want it too dry because you do need to activate the paint to get it smushy and to come on your sponge. So you practice with them and you get a perfect consistency. Alright, now I'm going to tap with the green on the outside of the face, right here on her nose, and just wiggle it down. I'm using Snazaroo or Ruby Red petal sponge, and so I can do wide stuff on the outside and then kind of sneak in the middle. Looks like I need to add a little bit more water to my paint to pick up a little bit more pearl color so that she shines like crazy. There we go. I love global gold because it's a healthy, happy gold. It's not like a greenish, dull gold or anything. It's got a lot of punch, and it makes the person look glamorous instead of ghoulish. And then I'm going to use the gold mostly above here. So I'm just going to come up above her eyebrow and put a little gold above her eyebrow. This is like the brow bone of the skull shape. So we've kind of got like the cheekbones. You can follow the person's cheekbone, and then we have a brow bone going on. I'm leaving the eyes empty because I'm going to come in and fill those in with global dark blue. This is like crazily an intense blue, so I'm going to add a little bit of white.
What brush are you using?
To soften it up a bit.
And what brush are you using?
I'm using the new Global Filbert 1/2 inch brush with the acrylic handles of magic. Now first I'm just going to fill in under her eyebrow on both sides, and then I'm going to shape it up just a little bit outside of her eyebrow to get a skull shape going on. And since the dark blue is so intense and I mixed it up with white, I'm still going to use a brush so I have a little more control. Too close to her eye. It scares me.
When you're painting little kids, instead of using regular face paint, you can use powders around the eye area. The kid is less likely to cry because you're not using a brush. So that's an option for little kids. For adults and girls that are used to outline their eyes, it's probably not a big deal, right?
She can handle it. I can do it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some stripe details. And I'm using a small flat brush. It's like a tag, 1/4 inch flat.
I think it's number 4.
This one says number 2, but I think the number 4 is the one that we have right now. And I think they're the same size. This brush might be 100 years old. Alright, I'm going to put some little fur there just to get the center of the face going so I know what I've got to work around in the middle of her face. And then we'll give her a sophisticated little cat nose. Sorry. And then draw a small thin line here, and then you can push it down for her muzzle. And then I'm going to do a muzzle that's going to shape her face at the bottom. So I'll go thick, pull up in, and then I'm going to swirl it around. And when you're using a flat brush, all you have to do is watch the bristles move while you're painting, so you can go from really thick to really thin. Now I'm going to do the muzzle on this side. You might notice that on this side I started out on the edge because working left to right is always easier than trying to go from right to left. Now they're not exactly the same size, but they have a pretty much identical shape going on. So we'll see if we can make that work. Alrighty, we got the kitty. Now we'll do her cheekbones. And I'm going to shape that skull shape, so I'm going to make an indentation here like the temple would be indented. And then I'm going to do a swirl coming down and around, and we'll add another little curl right there. And then I'm going to bring one up and add another curl here. Alright. Then I can outline her eye also, so that she has a nice clean edge. I'm going to use Global Strong Black for that. And then outline the top inner of the eye. This area is usually where things can get messy, so just try to watch what you're doing and make sure that it's looking as clean as possible. And you're going to work your way through the eyebrow and bring it back down. Gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to finish working on this side of the face. So I have this empty space here. You can add teardrops or dots or whatever you want to try to fill it in to kind of give it that Day of the Dead sensation. So I'm going to look at my space that I have and think, what can I stick in here that's going to fill it up and look pretty? So first I'm going to work with her cheekbone, and I'll do a couple of teardrops that go along with the flow of her cheekbone. And then if I feel like I still have too much empty space, then I could add like a teardrop outline. To kind of fill in that area. And then here I have like a dead end where my spirals are going each way and they're meeting the mustache. I'm going to put some little tiny teardrops in there. And then maybe I'll do a big dot to a medium dot to a little dot just to add some details.
That's good.
Okay, now for the forehead, I'm going to do some wispy lines like wild teardrops that kind of give a cat shape ear to the design. So it's like a mix between a tribal tigery stripe and cat ear combo platter. Wow.
That's good.
Alright, and then I just gotta tie this little area in here, so I'll do a couple little extra fun line teardrops. And I'm going to give her a few dots in the middle for her little mustache hairlines. And I'm going to outline her lip, and then we'll fill that in with a fun color. So basically all I'm going to do next is everything else on the other side, and then we'll do the little bit of eye decor to make it look more sugar scully. So here we go. Okay, now I'm going to use the Global Dark Blue in its purest form on her lip, and then I'm going to highlight it with the Global Pearl Gold or metallic gold. Ta-da! And this is going to tie her dark, intense eyes down into the bottom area of her face so she's balanced. I'm just going to take a little bit of gold and shine that over the top so it gets a little bit of a shimmer. If it dries, I can sponge some on for even mega extra craziness. Alright, I put some water in my global white and kind of made a pasty liquid white, and I'm going to go dot around it. I mean, these eyeballs. There we go. So, if you use the back of your brush, you can get really nice round dots. And the less pressure you apply, they can go from bigger to smaller. And then I'll do a big one right there. This is going to add a little bit of a skull, sugar skull design factor, because they always have magical details around the eyes. But this is like a little simpler, faster way to add those details. Alright, so now I'm just going to add some highlights right on top of the black line work that we did, just to make it pop out and add a little dimension. I mixed a little of my global liquid white with my white to try to make it thicker so that I can lay these highlights right on there and avoid too much blending of the black and the white. Alright, once I get these last finishing touches for my amazing Sugar Skull Kitty, then Deanna can go put on her fantasy Sugar Skull Kitty costume that I hope she has and impress the Kalamazoo people. Do you have a Sugar Skull Kitty costume?
Oh, I do. We'll be back for more.
Oh, good. Oh, I like it. You have fingerprint.
Highlight again, Linda.
Okay, and then we'll just do an extra lip touch up to make that gold pop like nuts. Ooh.
There we go.
You could have gems,
Now you can go
glitter,
there.
all sorts of amazing things. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it got your creative juices all juicing around, and try some more mashups next time. You can see all these products at JestPaint.com. Thank you.